Hello guys, welcome back to my beautiful allotment here in Nottingham. You find me here in front of my little no-dig bed. Well, I say no-dig, what it was is it was grass before. I covered it in cardboard. I just put some regular multi-purpose compost on. That was last year, and then since then it's just been growing away. The weeds that have been coming through were just your standard ones, your hair, your horsetail, couch grass, things like that, anything that will just creep along. So it seems to have worked quite well in keeping the weeds at bay. The ground is quite dry, I'll give it that, but what I am going to do here is going to treat it as a little flower bed, and I've got these beautiful lupins here all growing away, and these ones are going to go in here. They're going to create a lovely floral backdrop. I've already got these plants in here. These are Foxgloves. They've got a tall flower spike on them, and so are these beauties here. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, don't know if that'll come out as well, but yeah, these are like a mixed lupin flower, so really tall, sort of multicoloured flower spikes. Going to be absolutely beautiful. All the wildlife's going to love them as well. Attract wildlife to your garden and you'll always have an easier time as well. So I'm going to get these in now. I'm going to plant a bit of a line of them down here, and they'll grow up with the foxgloves. They might flower in the first year. If not, lupin will last, don't know, about 3 to 5 years, something like that. It puts a lot of energy into flowering, and although they are classed as an annual, they do not last forever. So we'll just enjoy them while we can. So I'll get these in now. I'm just going to dig a little hole, put them in, and then water them in. Boosh! So I'm going to carry on, get the rest of that row done, and when they grow on, they'll be just beautiful, lovely lupins. Woo. And there we go, that's them all planted out now. They're going to come along absolutely lovely. They are. Absolutely love myself a lupin. I know I've said that before. Look, there's my other patch there, just to let you know. But yeah, really are beautiful. It's not just about the veg, it's about everything. So, this is the plot. Right guys, I thought I'd have a crack at making one of these water pipe tubes. It's MDPE pipe, medium density polyethylene. It's just blue water pipe really. Get it from Screwfix and loads of other places. I managed to pick this up for free from a builder's site, so that's a good thing. So I've got all the boring bits out of the way. I've made like a bit of a frame there, just out of some of them whiteboards that I had kicking about. Just bolted them together. In the corners I've just attached the pipe just by drilling a big hole through it. Let's see if we can get in there and show you. There we go, it's got a big hole drilled through it and then a bolt. And then they're all just attached to a frame. And then I have just put a little screw in the top there, just to hold everything steady. Not that that wants to focus on that, it wants to focus on the grass, but hey, you have to take my word for that one. So I've got some this lovely scaffold netting down here, which is tangled up on my tripod. So the idea is to get that on there to make a nice closhy cover type thing for any veg that I need to cover. So that could be anything from sort of brassicas, any of your fruit bushes, carrots, leeks, anything like that. I think this one's going to be for me carrots because the one that I used last year was quite short. One extra bit that I want to add is a ring about there. Otherwise, when I pull the scaffold netting on, excuse me very much, like that, what's going to happen is between that point and that point, that's going to pull in. I'm going to lose a lot of internal space there. So if I put a ring on it, that'll just bring the outsides out a bit. That's what I thought anyway. So to make the ring and to join these two bits of pipe together, I was having to think about it. I thought, what can I use? I thought I'll use another bit of pipe. So I've cut it into like a bit of a C shape, and then I can wedge that in there like that, and then I can wedge that off camera in there like that, push them together, put a screw through it. I've made myself a hula hoop. Whoop! So there's my little cloche cover thing, looking all lovely with its ring on the top now. Loads of room inside there. I've just put the scaffold netting on loosely for now. Just thinking about a way to peg it down. I thought, shall I use some cable ties? I thought, shall I pin it all around the bottom? And then I remembered this little trick that I'd seen. So I've just cut some little sections of the actual blue pipe itself, just like that. And then with a nice sharp knife, carefully, without holding a camera in one hand. Going to cut myself a little piece so that opens up like that. So that's made a little C like that, and then from there I can just drop that straight onto the frame. Boom, like that. Pins the net in to the pipe. Look at that. Plus it's completely removable and reusable. You've not had to put a hole in your net or anything like that. Beautiful. So I'm going to go around and secure all that down now, give it a good trim, make it look beautiful. And then I think I'm going to sow my carrots. Well, that was slightly unusual. I've just, I was just doing my little cloche thing, and I just sat down for a minute, and it's now 5 o'clock at night. It was about 2 o'clock before, so I'm completely asleep in my little chair there. So yeah, that's completely not like me at all, completely unusual, but I must have been tired, flipping heck. It's weird because I had a lie-in this morning as well, but yeah, that's me, fresh after about 3 hours of kip. So yeah, hello back to the allotment. That's project little thingy to cover up my carrots, which I've not sown yet. What we're on March the, let me count, about 9, 8, 7, I'm going to call it the 7th of March. So yeah, sorry, I'm just like, what's going on? Right, so yeah, it's bank holiday tomorrow. This is Thursday. I've took a day's holiday, which I was meant to have, but then we were furloughed, which I cancelled, and then I took it back again, so I thought, you know what. Anyway, sorry, this is what happens when you pick your camera up straight away after waking up. Anyway, right, my name's Matt, this is my allotment. This is for my benefit, really. I'm trying to remember myself. Right, so onions that I've planted anyway, they're getting away all right. Let's have a little look at these bad boys. There is a bit of weeding needs to be done in there. I've done half the bed, did that side, I didn't do this side. And there's this little bugger here, that's obviously bindweed. So I'll have to try and get the white roots of that one out. Don't just pull it out, try and dig it out, otherwise it'll be back. If you see, he's already tried to latch onto one of my onions there. Little curly terror that you are. Get off my onion. Flipping out, last thing I need when I wake up. So yeah, they're growing away quite well. The bumblebees are there on me broad beans anyway, doing their job. I'm just buzzing away in there. The beans themselves don't look too great actually. There's a lot of ants on them, which probably means there's aphids, because the ants actually protect the aphids and milk them. They yeah, sort of squeeze their bottoms and get the juicy sugary goo out of the back of them. So yeah, in general they're not looking great. They did come out quite late this year, but they are flowering. I'll get something off of those. You just see they're a little bit yellowy, so I'll drop a bit of feed onto those. They've had bloodfish and bone in the ground, but it's been very dry, hasn't it? Not much else happening in here apart from weeds. Dreaded horsetail, but that's popping up everywhere. It's not too big a deal. Oh, look at that. That is a little self-seeded. I can't remember the name of the flower actually at the minute. But it's definitely a flower. I'll have to be careful when I'm weeding on there. And we've also got there's a little self-seeded sunflower next to the couch grass and the bindweed as well. And then obviously me, what are these guys? Globe artichokes. The dahlias, that's it. The dahlias that I put in last year and left the what do they call them? Tubers underground. Obviously they've come up, but we actually had a frost a couple of days ago. So you see the ones that have shot up have been frosted back again. And that's also true with, over here, this was my potato bed last year. And there was just one volunteer potato came up which I didn't weed out. And as you can see, the frost has had him as well. So that's why here in Nottingham we get very late frost regularly. So that was early May, that one, which is not unusual at all. There's definitely another frost coming this weekend, which will be the 11th, will it, Monday? So that's also going to be very cold. So if you've got any potatoes, give them a good earthing up, completely cover them with soil. If you are in an area that's going to be affected by frost, and anything you've got outside already that's delicate. What are these ones? These are flowers. These are Delphiniums, I believe, which shot up again from last year, doing amazingly well. Again down here, these were dahlias that were trying to grow back, so you can see the dahlias have come back, but then these ones, the frost has absolutely annihilated them. They should push back through again. but yeah, certainly not one for the cold weather. Still so cold here. And the asparagus has mainly survived, but I've completely missed picking time. I haven't completely missed picking time at all. I took one decent harvest out of it, and then there's a few more here that are beautiful. Let's go and have a quick look. Oh, so if you wanted to harvest out your asparagus, you'd be looking for a little stem like this. Let's see, about 6-8 inches, and you'd be cutting off just below the ground there with a sharp knife. Anything much bigger, any big ones like this will have gone really woody. But they also, you know, need to grow so that they can regenerate their energy. So, yes, that's a thing. So, have a wander back down here. What's that? That's a thyme bush and a lupin, and that's a dead nettle, that one. I think they're called dead nettles because they don't sting you. It's certainly alive. Strawberries. Strawberries are looking alright, these ones. I grew these from seed last year again. These are all coming back, apart from this one. Now if you notice, that one's right next to a garlic, so I don't know if strawberries and garlic really don't get along, because neither one of those are getting on. So I have to see with that. And then again, this one here. These are just like a few spare bulbs that I had, that I just ended up whacking in at the edge. But they don't seem to be getting on too well with the strawberries. Let's have a little wander around here. Never got as far as here when I was doing my weeding earlier, but they're my autumn raspberries that are shooting up now. They obviously fruit on their new canes, so they'll fruit later on in the year. These are my early raspberries. These canes are already here, left from last year because they didn't fruit last year, so you can see these guys are flying up and they've got flower buds all over them, so they'll be the earliest raspberries that I'll be eating this year. Looks like a bit of a jungle, but certainly worth it. And then my little alpine strawberries as well. A few more raspberries. My black currant bushes, the 3 new ones, they're all coming into life, looking quite nice. Like 3 little soldiers sat at the edge of that bed. Another gooseberry here, and then the single shallot that I managed to find while I was rooting around in the shed. And then the main garlic bed here as well. These guys just doing what garlic does really. These probably be, you know, they're a nice early harvest. Should imagine sometime in June, towards the end of June, these guys will start dying back and then they'll be ready. So yeah, that's me sort of mumbling around my plot, just having woken up. Some little teasel bushes down here as well, a little bit of teasel. A lot of wildflower. A lot of people would see it as a weed. Oh, I didn't think anything had come out of my spuds, but I've just had a little look down here. This is where I put my potatoes in, they're all earthed up. That is not a potato. That looks like a lupin, so that can go. But that is a potato. Have a look, so it's much too cold at night for him. So get your head back under. Otherwise the frost will have you. I'll have to keep an eye on those over the next few days. Like I say, at the weekend it'll be super frosty. There's a volunteer spud there as well, must have been from a previous year. Down south we're growing potatoes really, they grow absolutely everywhere, even if you leave a tiny little pea-sized one. These guys will grow back. Let's have a look in the greenhouse. Doo-be-doo-be-doo. Be-doo-be-doo. Be-doo-be-doo. So I've bought me chilies and peppers and tomatoes down. These guys have all survived the worst of it and they're all growing away. They've all been topped off as well. Whoops. So, you have a look, they're all planted exactly the same time. Some of them have been chopped off right there. And then they're pushing out side shoots as well, lovely, so they're going to bush out. Some of them haven't, because they were already quite small, but you can see it doesn't seem to hold them back here much. So, it doesn't look like it, but that one hasn't been cut, that one has. That one will actually end up a much bushier plant in the end. I've got some of these that I've not trimmed out, starting to try to flower as well, so I have to keep an eye on those. And then my tomatoes are growing away. They'll go out towards the, well, they'll go into grow bags I imagine in a few weeks, sometime in May. So I've got my tumbling tomatoes, I've got a mini bell which is like a bush type, red cherry, gigantamo, Gardener's Delight and some Moneymaker in there. I always say I'm not going to plant many tomatoes or chilies, and I always seem to go crazy with them every year. Like I say, it's the first thing that you sow, so it's also the first thing that, you know, you get your fingers into the dirt and you get carried away with them. So. Oh, and then in the main greenhouse, or my nursery greenhouse as it were, lots of things here just waiting to go out when the weather permits. Got more dahlias here. They look like they took a little bit of a nip near the door, but still growing away. You can see some of them there have gone a bit crispy in places. Mesambianthemums, they're looking like they need to be potted on again. My peas I wasn't overly impressed with, but I shall put out what I've got. I might try giving them a soak next time because I've got a lot. It's quite old seed, but I got a lot that didn't germinate. Got a lot that did, so they need to go out. Got me Russian giant sunflowers here, looking a bit tingly and twisted, but they'll soon sort themselves out. Got me lettuce here. This is sort of a mix. It's called green and red lettuce. So what I can do at the minute is we can get in there and just pick out leaves as we want them. Eating lettuce like a rabbit. Quite nice then. Yeah, that hedge at the back there needs trimming. That's usually about 6-8 inches away from the greenhouse, but it's starting to grow back. Instead of trying to do on a bit of lettuce. Right, brassicas as well. Here's all my brassicas. So cabbage, cauliflower, kale and broccoli, all the usual suspects in there, all growing away. Got probably way too many again, but they're all ready to go out pretty soon. I'm going to try and avoid this weekend because it is so cold. I don't want to give them too much of a shock. And dahlia there. These garlic have all flopped now, so I'm going to get them out of the pots. There might be something to eat in there, but I don't know, we'll have a look. Foxgloves are growing away. What have we got here? More asparagus. Someone's a bit crazy and sowed the entire packet of seeds, and just a little over 50% have germinated, which isn't bad actually for asparagus because they can be tough little buggers to get going. Oh, here we go. Love Lies Bleeding. I think that's the one that I've just seen outside, wasn't it, that I was trying to describe. So yeah, it looks like that one's self-seeded a little bit. Snapdragons, Antirrhinums, they're going. And Delphinium, there's one little baby in there, so it's not ideal conditions for him, I don't think. And then Nasturtium marigolds. What's that down there? Can't remember the name of that one. Begonias? Might be a begonia. Could be a begonia. Might not be a begonia. Anyway. And then down here we've got me, that was me Tesco bought, what are they called, shallots. So, you know, I'll drop out the ones that have seeded on those ones. And then under here, what have we got? Gherkins at the front. Then we've got cucumbers, pettipan squash, they've all come up lovely, so that's one thing. The rest of my sunflowers are starting to come up. And this tray, not too impressed at all. The melons have come up, but the butternuts have not, and the snake gourds have not, so that's a thing. And again in here, my pumpkins have not done too well, and the sweet corn's going to have to be sown again because they haven't popped up too well either. Now I've only got 4 plants there, that's not going to do at all. And just another selection of flowers, sunflowers, and then my shallots that I've grown from seed as well. Leeks there in that pot. Trying to share the pot with a nettle and what's that? Whatever that is. Probably willow herb. Right, so here's the spot that I've chosen for my carrots anyway. With carrot, what I will do is just put a shallow drill into the ground. I'm going to water it because the surface of this ground's quite dry, and then I'll put me seed in and then cover them over and mark them up. I bought these little wooden sticks because I'm fed up of finding plastic everywhere. So that is what I'm going to do. Bit of a weed. Traditionally, you'd probably go about 30 centimetres, which is what, about a foot between your rows. So I'm going to come quite close. I'm going to try and get 4 in here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then my 4th one there. And then I'm going to put that cover over again just to resist a fly. So I've got 4 different varieties that I'm going to try. I've actually got about 30 different ones, but you know, I'm going to have to try and wheedle it down. So I've got resist a fly, F1. I'm going to try a row of that one. I have got Autumn King, so I'm going to give him a go. There we go, give them a go. I have got the, what have I got as well? Chantenays and Paris Market, Chantenay, Early Nantes. I'll try the Chantenay Red Core because I've got so many blooming packets of them. It's been nice to get rid of some of them. Don't really know much about that as a carrot, but we'll give it a go. And then finally, which ones of yous are going to make it? I've got these little Paris Market ones. Look at them, little round ones. I might try some of them in a pot actually, because they're quite small, as well as the Royal Chantenay 3s as well. They seem quite like they do well in shallow soil, so they might do. So the final one to make it this year is going to be the Nantes number 5. No, Nantes number 2. Sorry, I lied to you. It was upside down. So we're going to get them sown anyway. Oh dear. So it says so March till June, so I'm at early May now. Perfect time for me. Never in too much of a hurry to get stuff out because, as you know, the weather can be a right bugger for you. So I'm going to get these. I'm going to get these done then. Right. Here we go. So that's the width of my cover. So I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Dead technical that. You see that? And then that's the length of me what's it. So it's going to be a drill. Like that. Now what I've used there is I've used, there's a tool that you can get hold of. Most people have got them, some haven't. It's just a finger, so you know, I'm sure there's other body parts that will do just as well. There we go, it doesn't look like much, you probably can't even tell. I'm going to put a drop of water in them just so that the seeds aren't sitting on dry soil as well. Oh. There we go, lovely bit of mud we've made there. So, I can't remember which ones I separated. Were they the no's and they were the yeses? Oh, I made a big song and dance, I can't remember now. Anyway. Right, Early Nantes number 2. So, first thing I'm going to do is write my label, because I will forget. Right then, so, seedy seed, 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 tiddly seed. This one's already open, it's probably where I find out that the seed packet's empty. I've got a habit of doing that. I tend to keep hold of them because I'm like, oh, I might need to read about that plant later to see how the care is going. But no, these are not empty. Little carrot seeds. And with a carrot, what I tend to do is not broadcast them everywhere, because then when the weeds start growing with your carrots, you're going to have a real problem identifying which is which. So if you sow in a nice straight neat line, I can't do neat line on the camera, there we go. Then you know when the weeds start growing up, if it's not something that's in that straight row, then you know it's a weed. If it is, then you can leave it in there and see what happens. There we go. In that little pinch, that was probably a couple of 100 seeds, but I can thin them out. Worst thing to do would be like trying to space them out like every couple of inches and then find out that half of them don't germinate. Well, these ones that I'm dropping now are anyway. Right, how many seeds do you get in a packet anyway? Flipping Nora. Average contents. Oh, you only get 2,000. What? Right, so that's that one. I'm going to carry on just exactly the same principle with all the rest of them. What I've done, where I've sown that now, I'm just going to literally pinch a little bit of soil over them. Like that, job's a fish, isn't it? So I'm just going to crack on, do the other lot, and then when they start to come up, they'll be under the cover from now right through to harvest time, because the carrot root flies are little buggers. So, I mean, this ground here, it is just being, you know, dug over, weeded. I've sort of dug probably, you know, a full spit's depth, and that'll be absolutely fine. There's no major rocks in there, no big lumps or clumps or anything like that. as with all root vegetables, I'm not going to add any fertilisers, I'm not going to add any manure or anything like that to them, because if you do that, the carrot will absolutely love it. It'll grow like crazy, it'll fork, it'll twist, it'll, you know, be all over the place. So same with rocks in the ground. If the carrot roots, it grows a tap root. If that goes down and hits anything like a rock or a hard patch, that'll twist and you'll get ugly carrots. So, you know, just treat them mean, you know, nice deeply dug, clean soil, but, you know, don't over fertilise them because they go absolutely crazy. These guys, you know, they'll do what they do right from the start, grow that tap root straight down. You know, it might look dry, but they'll have plenty of moisture and they'll grow away absolutely lovely. So that's the carrot. Woohoo! So I'm going to get that covered over with my weird dome thing now. I'll give them another little water as well because the soil is a bit dry. And there we go, that's them all covered over now. Lovely thing about that is I can just simply pick it up when I need to weed. So I can just lift the whole thing up and then do what I need to do. I'll put a couple of boards around the edge just to keep the weeds away from the edges as well, so they don't get too entwined with the netting. Lovely jubbly. Carrots. Right then, whilst I'm getting down and dirty and doing a bit of sowing straight outside, I've got a couple of other bits that I want to get in. I've got my parsnips here, I've got my Javelin F1 and my Gladiator F1. I've also got Tender and True as well. Don't know what that one's doing there, that's not going in there. I've got a few types of little mini turnips as well, so I've got these ones called a Snowball. I have got these ones called a Snowball. I have got this one called a Petrovsky. Probably can't see me from all the way back there. Radishes, so I'm going to try Moulimino, which is a big long white radish. He's going in. I'm going to try the French breakfast. Spring onions as well, I want to get some of them straight outside, so I've got the Ishikura, that's like a bunching onion, so they can grow in bunches and you just pick them, lovely. I've got Ramrod as well, that's another type of spring onion. I have got Ishikura again. I have got White Lisbon. I have got North Holland Blood Red, that's a bright red spring onion, so I'm going to give him a go. On the beetroot side of things, I've got some Boltardy, I've got some Detroit 2, I've got some Scarlet Globe, back to the radishes again, that's the French breakfast ones, where were they? There, and the more traditional looking Sparkler 3, little round one. Beetroot Boltardy, you've seen that one. Right, radish, got a black Spanish one as well, so I'm going to give that a go, something a bit unusual. That's a radish. Turnip Purple Top Milan, I do them every year, quite tasty actually. Oh, come back here. And then finally, I don't know how that's got there because that's not going in the ground. So just in a few little drills here, I'm just going to do the radish, the turnips and the beetroot, and then the parsnips, they're going to go elsewhere. Didn't catch it. Crack on. See there, I've just marked out a few drills there. The radishes don't need a lot of room at all, they grow very quickly. And those little turnips as well, you can harvest those small. So very similar to the carrots really, just a little shallow drill. I'm going to water the drill and then I'm going to broadcast a few seeds in nice straight lines into it. Right, that's about me done for another day actually. What with my little kip and everything like that, it got quite late quite quickly. It's Thursday night actually, it's about 5 to 8, so I'm going to be joining in a round of applause for the NHS shortly as well. So I might let the video roll for that one as well, and we can all appreciate the great job that they're doing for the nation. But yeah, look, carrots. Well, not yet because they're all underground still. Little turnips and my radishes. And then hiding down here, I have put in me spring onions. I didn't get my beetroot put in just yet, but I will do, don't worry. These monstrosities here, that's my parsnips. I don't know if I've shown you them already. But because I didn't harvest all of my parsnips last time, they've all shot up. And they're going to flower and seed. Now you really do have to be careful with these because once they're in their second year and they start going to flower, the sap on them is really nasty stuff, and it can, if you get the sap on you, the sunlight seems to activate it and it can cause some nasty blisters. But other than that, what have I done? I've put out, do you remember I bought the Tesco shallots, just regular shallots off the shelf at Tesco's? Well, I put in about 13, did I? Something like that, 12 or 13, and 5 of them have fired up. So I'll stick them out and see what happens with those. I don't know if anything will. One chap in a comment said that he tried growing them, but they didn't do much. And noticed escape as well on one of my garlic plants. What you'll get is, if you keep an eye on your garlic plant right from the very centre, you'll get one of these scapes here. It's like different from the flat leaves because it's round, and that's actually the start of the flower head. Now, like with an onion, it doesn't mean that it's going to stop growing, but you do want to pull them off so it doesn't put all the energy into those. And these, you can fry them, and they're absolutely lovely, oniony, garlicky little things. So yeah, keep an eye on your garlic, get all of them out anyway. I'm going to clear off now anyway, because it's getting late, and I'm all isolated and alone on my plot, so I'm going to go and get me dinner. Bye bye. You hear that? That's brilliant. The entire side of Nottingham is just lit up in applause. Everybody banging saucepans. Woo! If you could hear it over my clapping, actually. It's pretty special. The birds don't think so. Thank you, NHS. Wow. I think that was a cow. Moo! Well done, guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much for everything you're doing for the country. See you later, everyone. Bye bye.